to St. Scholastica's Academy with the proposition, is economic freedom more important than economic equality? And for the free debate round, this will be a free-flowing discussion, but I tell the people of Bacolod, I've never seen so much debating and argumentation talent in high school students, and you see that only here in IBB. And to start with the free debate round, I would like to start with a question. Can you please tell me at least 3 economic, or let's say indicators of economic freedom? When do we say that a nation has economic freedom?
Economic freedom. Economic freedom.
When do we say
Okay.
my partner?
Economic freedom. The nation has economic freedom. There are 10 factors that determine economic freedom. One would be fiscal freedom, business freedom, and freedom from corruption. You asked for 3, I'll give you 3.
Okay, now for St. Scholastica's Academy, can you please give me at least 3 indicators of economic equality?
Economic equality occurs when there is satisfaction of the needs of all of the people, like, for example, food, clothing, and shelter. No one should die just because of poverty. And then those who are rich, they should have the obligation to help those who cannot afford.
So are we saying that these factors cannot coexist?
Economic freedom and economic equality are 2 different things. So if those are the factors which you have stated are for economic equality, then I don't think that can exist in economic freedom.
Reaction?
Like what I said earlier, there is no economic system that can exist in its own form. I mean,
of course there's no economic system that can exist in its own form.
Like,
that's why there's government. That's why there's government. A government is there to make the laws, to regulate the laws, and to judge the people.
People are just free, then it's absolutely like freedom.
That is not freedom. That is licentiousness, meaning that is freedom to do what you want. That is not freedom.
Economic freedom is defined as freedom within the law, so there is a law.
Yes. And that law, who makes that law? The government. We're not saying that economic freedom means no government at all. Look at the examples right now. Not China. USA, the Philippines. There's still a government. Even though if we are in economic freedom, there is still the government. No one can exist without a government. It's what the state comprises.
Of course, there's a government. What we're saying is the government should redistribute the wealth so that the rich people can help the poor people.
Yeah, let me just make it clear that what we mean by economic equality is the equitable distribution of resources.
You're using the word equitable. You're not using the word equality.
Yes, but
that's
explain how it happens.
You're supposed to be for economic equality,
for example, there's this single man.
That sounds like a bank. We say
equality is the satisfaction of needs.
If you take it into an
so that means if it's a satisfaction of needs, different people have different needs.
That is
why. Food, clothing, and shelter. Those are the 3 basic needs that everyone needs.
Are you saying that in an economic freedom, people cannot be given their basic needs?
They are given in the world. They are given their basic needs.
No, they're not.
How is that question?
One at a time, please. One at a time. Victoria.
They're not given their basic needs.
How can they be given their basic needs?
You're asking how? That is a great question. Number 1, people work. Number 2, people can go to school. Number 3, people can go into business. Number 4, people are free. That all of these exist in economic freedom. If you're given, if you give them economic
resources,
of course,
there are resources all around us. I mean,
they can acquire resources through equitable distribution.
No, if there are resources all around us, why can we not get these resources?
Paulin.
If you're poor to begin with, where do you get capital? Where do you get resources to start your business and uplift yourself?
I mean, you work.
The high unemployment rate everywhere.
If you're saying that you don't have any capital and everything, so what? The government just feeds you money?
No, they don't. That's what you're saying. We're not making the poor dependent.
That's why they have to work. They have to work according to their ability to gain.
But not everyone can work because
why can they not work?
Right? Because they want to earn, and if they earn, it's already like economic equality. You give what is due to people. They worked hard to get.
You're saying you're supposed
to distribute. There aren't enough jobs.
You're saying you're supposed to distribute the natural resources, right? You are saying that you are supposed to distribute natural resources, right?
Yes.
Is wealth a natural resource?
Yes.
Really?
National. You said national.
Where do you get?
Money is taken from trees.
No, you said national.
Natural resources, wealth is a natural resource.
Okay, now, you are talking about economic freedom and they're talking about economic equality. Now, are you talking about economic freedom as an end in itself, or are you talking about economic freedom as a means to something? And the same question goes to the same Scholastica Academy. When you talk about economic equality, are you saying that this is an end in itself, or is this a means to something else?
It's a means to something else.
So what are we trying to achieve with economic equality?
We're trying to alleviate the poverty because majority of the people in the world are poor and they don't have enough to...
so what basically is the goal that we are trying to achieve?
We are trying to satisfy the basic needs, most especially the physiological needs. Like for example, we are debating about economic freedom, we are debating about economic equality, but those people watching there, how could they understand what we are talking about if they cannot even have food to eat, water to drink? And according to Abraham Maslow, in his hierarchy of needs, the physiological needs must be satisfied first, in order that people would move to a higher degree of needs, in order to satisfy.
There is a point there's a point I'd like to say.
No, Jonas first. Can you please answer my question?
Economic means economic equality as an
is it an end in itself, or
there is such thing as economic growth, and this only appears. This is only possible through economic freedom. Economic freedom does not end. There is such, as I said, there is such thing as growth. Meaning, economic freedom is a way for economy to grow. And from this growth would be the higher income, higher gross domestic product per person. I'm not yet finished. Economic freedom, aside from growth, and besides, did you listen to my speech earlier? It contributes to higher literacy, meaning better.
Then why are so many people in the world poor?
Okay, sure.
Okay. You said that if people don't have food to eat, they cannot understand what they're talking about.
Exactly.
So are you saying that they're illiterate if they don't have food? If you can't eat, you're illiterate. Is that what you're saying? If they don't have water, they're illiterate. If they don't have clothes, they're illiterate.
That's not what we're saying.
No,
what
but
we're saying is,
wait, excuse me. But your partner said a while ago that if they don't have food to eat, if they don't have these basic needs, they cannot understand anything. So basically, you're saying that they're illiterate if they don't have these basic needs.
Let us answer the question. What we mean is, if you don't have your basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter, how can you concentrate on things of the mind? How can you concentrate on what other people are saying to you if you don't even have what you need to survive? I mean, education comes after food, clothing, and shelter.
And I would like to ask the question about the GDP and GNP of countries. I mean, they determine how much a country spends, right?
No, it determines how much people earn, not how